Hello. In today's video, I'm going to draw this Labidomera Clivicollis beetle. Probably said that name wrong. Thanks to James for this photo. I like beetles. They're always very elegant to draw. To start off, I'm going to start off with the ball of the head. Yeah, I think that's good. And, well, I'll do it again. I'll make it a little smaller. Yeah, that works. The thing about beetles, they have a head, thorax, and abdomen. More often than not, their thorax is kind of like partially hidden under this shell here and partially hidden under the shell in the back here, which looks like there's a division. So I bet this beetle can fly or glide. But yeah, the thorax is always kind of hidden in there, and you can't always see it clearly unless you are looking at either like an anatomy diagram of the given beetle or, well, I'm going to make that a little bit more round. Either looking at the anatomy or you're looking at the underside. With a lot of beetles I've looked at, I feel like sometimes even if you look at the underside, you can't always tell, which is always a bit frustrating. Because sometimes the way all of the parts connect is a little bit more between the lines. Oops. The other thing is, where the legs are coming from. It's always a bit of a challenge. But I'm going to draw some pilot holes on the thorax. And we can only see 3 legs, but insects have 6 legs, but we can't see all of the legs. Sometimes it's difficult to see all of the legs. There's always trade-offs. Because it's like sometimes you may see all 6 legs, but you may not see the entire back shell. And I really like this shot. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some of the structure, because there's a lot of stuff to focus on, but I feel like if I focus on the structure first and then draw the legs, it'll be a lot better. So to go, I'm going to extend a little bit off the head, just over here. And when you look at the head, it's kind of a bit, it kind of looks like a rounded, I really can't actually think of a way to summarize it. Kind of looks like a, I don't know, half of a hexagon maybe? It's very angular. I'm trying to think how to best estimate it. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this midsection first. I'm going to draw that section to help orient me further. Just make that a little bit further down. Yeah, there needs to be a little bit of a larger gap. Darn. There's just like a bunch of plane changes that I'm seeing that make it a bit of a challenge. It's a very angular looking bug, I will say that. Makes certain parts of it difficult to see. It looks like right here there's a bit of a division between the shell and the area covering it, but I will definitely get back to that in a moment. Right here it kind of looks a bit like an eye. It's really hard to say. I think that's an eye. There's a lot going on with its head. I'm kind of seeing this other area. It looks to me like it's a bit part of the start of the antenna. But it kind of goes there. It kind of like looks like a little bit of a cluster of something. Of what? It's hard to say. Probably the beginning parts of the antenna. I can kind of see a little bit of the eye if you look where my mouse is over here. I feel like I see just a little bit of the eye sticking out over here. It's very subtle. Very, very subtle. But yeah, it kind of looks like a bit of the head kind of goes up a little bit like that. Perhaps I'm just seeing that, but it looks like I'm seeing all of these various plane changes for the head. Perhaps it's just the way the lighting is hitting it. It very well could be that. But okay, we have the eye. I wanted to quickly do, I'm not sure if it's like a, I don't know what you'd call this. Something to eat. A mouth part. Something like that. Okay. Now I'm going to quickly draw some gestural lines for the antenna. Yeah, about here. And I will revisit that soon. But I wanted to jump back to the shell, and I wanted to pick an area where to end it. Usually with shells, they kind of cover just like a little bit over the thorax and abdomen to act as a bit of armor. So maybe I'll put it about here, and I'll connect it. Okay, now so right here, if you look right here, there's a bit of a gap area. It's very subtle to see, but it's a very small gap. Pretty sure it's so the wings can go up, but being mindful of things like that they're not just attached, that there's just a little bit of area that is separating those parts as it attaches. Like even though it looks really close, there is just the smallest amount of gap room between them so it can fly. I mean, otherwise I'm pretty sure its wings would not open up to let it fly mechanically. Now that I look at it, I think I may have made the shell a little bit too long. I think it should have been a little bit tighter. So I know I talked about the gap room. Let me try it one more time. But I will try to maintain a little bit of a separation as it connects. And I think the dot I placed over here should have been maybe just a little bit closer. And I know I said there's a little bit of a gap room between it, but perhaps I even made the shell a little bit too big. And I'll try to see if I can work with it. Yeah, I think I made the area a little bit too big. A little bit larger than I anticipated, even though I measured it with my hand and it kind of looks right, but I was sadly just a little bit off. It looks way too long in my opinion. I can see a little water droplet like right here. although I'm not going to draw that water droplet. I want to go back to the gesture layer and try to draw in some of these legs. Obviously, there's a bit of an area that's covering over it. About there. And yeah, many of the legs are pretty well obscured. And there's some interesting things going on with this beetle's legs. But I'm gonna quickly do the antenna. From this perspective, like they clearly look like tapering cups a bit. But a lot of them kind of have different sizes. Sometimes they look more canister and square-like, and other times they look like they're thinning out and tapering, which always makes it a bit of an interesting challenge. I bet there's definitely a reason for it, and that it wasn't just a decision for the bug to be weird or unique. Not weird, just unique with its antenna design. Must give it some type of advantage. In the perspective here, they kind of look like balls a little bit here. Sometimes you get different looking things based on the perspective. Okay, now for the legs. There's some interesting stuff going on with these legs. Even though there's a portion that we can't see all of the full story of, we can kind of speculate. Although, it'd probably be better if I had another photo reference of the beetle. I probably should have looked at a couple more to gain the greater story. Yeah, there are all these interesting shapes on this beetle's legs. I'm really wondering what the purpose of it is. It kind of looks like a bunch of different beads strung together. It's unlike anything. It's unlike any insect's legs that I've drawn before. It's quite unique, I must say. Okay. About there. Should have made it a little bit longer. You know what? I think I made that one a little bit too far. There's like a very, very small little hooks on the end of its legs. Pretty sure to keep itself on plants and whatnot. pretty confident about that, even though I never have opened up a book on beetles like I've been meaning to. I feel like we could safely assume that. Yeah, these shapes are just so bizarre to me. It's like some of them are heart shapes, some of them are like tapering cylinders, others look a bit sharper than I anticipate. But the end always makes sense. The ends are like more like teardrops that have a hook on the end. Yeah, very interesting. I will I will give it that. It's very unique overall. But yeah, if I had one, I mean, I probably have a lot, but I think I made the, I think I may have made the abdomen a bit too large. I think I would have made the abdomen a bit smaller, because I think the shell looks a lot longer than the reality of what the beetle actually looks like. But yeah, I hope this video makes sense. I saw one of these things here. I'm not sure what it is, if it's for like eating aphids or something like that. There's got to be one on the other side. We probably just can't see it based on the perspective. Either that or it lost it in battle. But yeah, I hope this video, I hope you learned something, and I think I learned something myself. Darn, I really shouldn't have made that abdomen too long. What a shame. I should have made it more like that. I think if I made it more like that, I would have been able to, still not happy. Yeah, I think if I would have done something like that, it would have been a bit more elegant than how I did it. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. I hope this video helps you in some way. Perhaps you could learn from my mistakes and try to draw again. And I'll probably have to do that again. Sometimes I grind, meaning I try to draw bugs multiple times, because I feel like the first time you may make mistakes and you'll learn more the second time, and I look at failure as being a part of the process. So yeah, I hope this video helps you. If you like my channel, please subscribe. If you like the video, please like it. And if you have a question, please ask in the comments. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.